ready to start and learn from our new science exciting episode?
For today's episode, we shall learn to classify animals based on the presence or absence of a backbone. Determine the distinguishing characteristics of vertebrates and practice ways of caring for and protecting animals.
Science-minded learners, living things around us are classified into general groups known as kingdoms. The 5 kingdoms are Animalia, Plantae, Protista, Fungi, and Munera. There are millions of animal species on Earth. Wow! That is a big number, right, science-minded learners? That's right. So how do scientists group and name these animals? In order to classify and name animals, they are classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. In today's episode, we shall focus on classifying vertebrates. We shall learn about mammals, reptiles, and amphibians.
Directions. Identify the classification of animals by writing mammal, amphibian, and reptile. Write your answers on your paper. Number 1. Cow. Very good. A cow is classified as a mammal. Number 2. Turtle. Very good. A turtle is classified as a reptile. Number 3. Frog. That's right. A frog is classified as an amphibian. Number 4. Bat. That's correct. A bat is classified as a mammal. Number 5. Crocodile. Good. A crocodile is classified as a reptile.
Wow! That's great! But if not, don't worry. Focus on our science episode today so that you will get a perfect score in our next activities. Now, let's open the treasure box. Wow! 3 sapphire stones. There you go. Let's put the 3 sapphire stones inside the jar. Animals found in the locality are classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates are animals with backbones. There are 5 classifications of vertebrates. These are mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, and fishes. In today's episode, we shall focus on the mammals, reptiles, and amphibians. Vertebrates are animals with backbones that give shape and support their body. Bones are a predominant feature in the body of vertebral animals that serve as a protection of their internal organs. The presence of bones in the animal's body helps them to walk, jump, crawl, and swim.
Mammals. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. Their body temperature doesn't change even when the temperature of the environment changes. The bodies of mammals are partly covered with hair or fur. The mammal's hair has several functions, including insulation, camouflage as a sensory device, waterproofing, signaling, and defense. Mammals breathe through their lungs. They have a muscle called a diaphragm that helps them to breathe. Most mammals develop their young inside their mother's body and are fully formed when they are born. They feed their young with their milk from the mammary glands. Most mammals live on land. Others live in water. They use their legs, feet, and wings for locomotion.
Examples of mammals are cats, dogs, bats, monkeys, horses, cows, deers, whales, and also human.
Reptiles. Reptiles are cold-blooded vertebrates. They are terrestrial animals. They are fully adapted to life in land. They have dry, scaly skin. Some have scales and others have shells. Reptiles breathe through their lungs. Reptiles use their legs and feet for locomotion.
Examples of reptiles are crocodiles, alligators, turtles, tortoises, lizards, iguanas, chameleons, geckos, tuataras, and snakes.
Amphibians. Amphibians are cold-blooded animals that spend part of their lives in water and part on land. Young amphibians breathe through their gills. As they grow, their gills disappear and lungs take their place. Amphibians have smooth, moist, and scaleless skin. Amphibians lay eggs in the water. Their eggs have no shells. Instead, their eggs have a jelly-like material around them. The eggs develop into an adult through a series of stages or through metamorphosis.
Examples of amphibians are caecilians, frogs, toads, newts, and salamanders. There you go, science-minded learners! Those are the characteristics of the mammals, reptiles, and amphibians. Science-minded learners, let's investigate and explore. Let's do this activity to better understand our episode today.
Complete the chart about the characteristics of mammals, reptiles, and amphibians. Write your answers on your paper.
Your time is up, so let's check your work.
Let's start with the mammals. Very good, science-minded learners. Some mammals live in water and other on land. The body covering of mammals is hair or fur. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. Their breathing organ is their lungs. Their organs of locomotion are legs, feet, and wings. Some mammals are developed and born alive while some are hatched from eggs. Two examples of mammals are humans and dolphins. Next, let's have the characteristics of reptiles. Reptiles live on water and land. Reptiles have dry, scaly skin and others have shell. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals. They breathe through their lungs. Their organs of locomotion are legs and feet. Some reptiles are born alive and others are hatched from eggs. Two examples of reptiles are crocodiles and lizards. Lastly, let's have the characteristics of amphibians. Amphibians live on land and in the water. Amphibians have smooth, moist, and scaleless skin. Amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Young amphibians breathe through their gills. As they grow, their gills disappear and lungs take their place.
Amphibians use their legs for locomotion. Also, amphibians hatch from eggs.
Wow! 3 sapphire stones! There you have it! From our activity that we have a while ago, you get some information on the characteristics of birds and fishes. Do you want to know more? That's right, it's nice to hear that. That's the attitude of a real science-minded learner, always eager to learn and explore. Now, let's learn about birds.
Birds are warm-blooded animals. They can generate their body heat internally by their own metabolism. They remain active in cold and warm climates. Birds' body temperature stays the same even when the temperature of the air changes. Birds are the only animals with feathers. They have a respiratory system that includes air sacs, which give them a unique mechanism for breathing. Most birds can fly with a few exceptions such as ostrich, emu, penguin, and kiwi. Even chickens can fly short distances. This is because birds have very light bodies and hollow bones. They also possess flight feathers found in wings and tails, which are arranged in a way that help carry and lift the bird up in the air. Different birds have different body structures that help them to adapt to their environment. Birds lay eggs with shells. Their young are hatched from eggs. The mouth of a bird is in the form of horn-covered beak or bill. The bills and feet of birds show adaptations to different ways of life, like bill for picking seeds and feet for perching on trunk of trees. Fishes are cold-blooded animals. Their body temperature changes when the temperature of the air or water around it changes. Most fish have vertebral column, jaw, paired fins, scales, gills, and a single loop blood circulation.
Science-minded learners, you know what? The fish has two kinds. These are the bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes.
Bony fishes have bony skeletons, paired fins, and protective overlapping scales. They are found in the fresh and saltwater habitats. This is the largest group of fish.
Examples of bony fishes are milkfish, catfish, angelfish, and clownfish.
Cartilaginous fishes have flexible skeletons made up of cartilage tissue. Almost all members of this group can be found in the salt water. They have movable upper and lower jaws equipped with several rows of sharp teeth.
Examples of cartilaginous fishes are shark, stingray, and skate. Let us now investigate and explore. Let's do this activity to better understand concepts about birds and fishes.
Directions. Complete the chart about the characteristics of birds and fishes. Write your answers on your paper. Let's begin with the birds. Their habitat is diverse. Birds live on mountains, forests, desert, and some birds live near the bodies of water. Birds' body is covered with feathers. They are warm-blooded animals. They breathe through their lungs. Birds have wings and feet as organs for locomotion. Birds lay eggs with shells. Their young are hatched from eggs. Next, let's have the fishes. Fishes live in aquatic habitat like rivers, lakes, streams, sea, and oceans. Their body is covered with scales. Fishes are cold-blooded animals. They breathe through their gills. They have a pair of fins and tail that enables them to swim. Fishes lay eggs in water. Their youngs are hatched from eggs.
Today, let's learn about invertebrates and its characteristics. In this episode, we shall learn more about arthropods, echinoderms, mollusks, and puriferans. Invertebrates are animals without backbone. They are simple animals and were believed to be the first set of animals that lived on Earth. Invertebrates live in all kinds of environments and in almost every place on Earth. They live on land, water, or both. Some are so small, while others are larger than most animals. They come in all forms, sizes, shapes, colors, and roles in the ecosystem. Science-minded learners, to ready yourselves for our lesson today, let's have this another activity.
Directions. Study the pictures below and identify the animals which do not have backbones. Write your answers on your paper.
Are you done, science-minded learners? Now, let's check your answers.
Science-minded learners. In the first row, the animals are ant, turtle, and spider. The animals without a backbone or invertebrates are ant and spider. In the second row, the animals are squid, starfish, and fish. The animals without a backbone are squid and starfish.
So, were you able to get all the correct answers? Wow, that's great! But if not, don't worry. Focus on our science episode today so that you will get a perfect score in our next activities. Now, let's open the treasure box. Wow! 3 sapphire stones. There you go. Let's put the 3 sapphire stones inside the jar. Science-minded learners, invertebrates are simple animals because they don't have a backbone or vertebral column. Its body parts and functions are simpler compared to those of the vertebrates. First, let's know more about the arthropods.
Arthropods have segmented bodies and tough skeleton with jointed appendages and hardened outer skeleton called exoskeleton. Arthropods are the largest group in the animal kingdom, which can be further classified based on the number of pair of legs.
The following are the classification of arthropods. First, class crustacean. It has 5 or more pairs of legs. The examples are lobster, crabs, and shrimps. Second, class arachnida. It has 4 pairs of legs. The examples are spiders, scorpions, and mites. Third, class insecta. It has 3 pairs of legs. The examples are ants, butterflies, mosquitoes, fleas, grasshoppers, termites, bees, bugs, and beetles. Fourth, class Calupoda. It has 1 pair of legs per segment. The example is the centipede. And fifth, class Diplopoda. It has 2 pairs of legs per segment. The example is millipede. Now, let's learn more about the echinoderms.
Echinoderms are marine animals with spiny endoskeleton. They have a water vascular system, 2 feet, and radial symmetry as adults. The water vascular system of echinoderms works together and enables them to get food.
The examples of echinoderms are brittle stars, starfish, sea urchins, sea lilies, sea cucumbers, and sand dollars. Science-minded learners, it's time to know more about the mollusks.
Mollusks are soft-bodied animals with shells inside or outside their bodies, called exoskeleton.
Science-minded learners, here are the examples of mollusks: oysters, scallops, clams, and squids. Now, let's learn more about the poriferans.
Poriferans are pore-bearing animals which attach themselves to the rocks or sea floor.
The examples of poriferans are sponges. Sponges differ in sizes, shapes, and colors. Science-minded learners, those are the different characteristics of arthropods, echinoderms, mollusks, and poriferans. I hope you were able to catch up and take down notes. Science-minded learners, let's investigate and explore. Let's do this activity to better understand our episode today. Inside the Pandora's box are pictures of invertebrates. I will pick a picture inside the box and you will identify the classification of the invertebrate. You are given 5 seconds per picture. Science-minded learners, here is our Pandora's box. Now, I will pick the first picture. The first picture is
That's right, science-minded learners. This is a picture of an oyster. The oyster belongs to the group of mollusks.
I will now pick the second picture. The second picture is
Very good. This is a picture of a spider. The spider belongs to the group of arthropods under class Arachnida.
Now, let's pick the third picture. The third picture is
That's correct. This is a picture of a starfish. The starfish belongs to the group of echinoderms.
Now, it's time to pick the fourth picture. The fourth picture is
Awesome! This is a picture of the sponges. The sponges belong to the group of poriferans.
That was a great performance, science-minded learners. You were able. Today, we shall enjoy learning and answering different activities about invertebrates.
For today's episode, we shall learn to classify invertebrates based on their characteristics, determine the distinguishing characteristics of invertebrates, and practice ways of caring for and protecting animals.
Today, let's learn about the invertebrates and their characteristics. In this episode, we shall learn more about cnidarians, platyhelminthes, nematodes, and annelids. As you all know, invertebrates are animals without backbone. They are simple animals and were believed that they were the first set of animals that lived on Earth. They lived on land, water, or both. Some are so small, while others are larger than most animals. They come in all forms, sizes, shapes, colors, and roles in the ecosystem. Science-minded learners, in order to ready yourselves for our lesson today, let's have this another activity.
Directions. Use the letter clues to name each of the different types of invertebrates described here. Number 1. They have long and segmented bodies. They can be found in land, fresh water, and even salt water. That's right. The correct answer is annelids. Number 2. They have long, smooth, and rounded bodies which often have rings, bristles, or ridges that aid in locomotion or protection. Very good. The correct answer is nematodes. Number 3. They have flat, ribbon-like bodies. They do not have body cavities that contain developed circulatory or respiratory organs. Good. The correct answer is platyhelminthes. Number 4. They live in the underwater. They have a mouth and tentacles facing forward and some at upper end. Well done! The correct answer is cnidarians.
So, were you able to get all the correct answers? Wow, that's great! But if not, don't worry. Focus on our science episode today so that you will get a perfect score in our next activities. Now, let's open the treasure box. Wow! 2 sapphire stones. There you go. Let's put the 2 sapphire stones inside the jar. Science-minded learners, invertebrates are simple animals because they don't have a backbone or vertebral column. Its body parts and functions are simpler compared to those of the vertebrates. First, let's know more about cnidarians and their characteristics.
Cnidarians have one body opening, and most have 2-layer cells. The outer layer functions in protecting the internal body. The inner layer functions mainly in digestion. Biologists name these animals as cnidarians because of the presence of stinging cells called cnidocytes. These animals live in the underwater.
The examples of cnidarians are jellyfish, corals, and sea anemone. Now, let's learn more about the platyhelminthes and their characteristics.
Platyhelminthes have a thin, flat body that resembles a ribbon and have definite head region and body organs. Flatworms have no digestive system and are hermaphrodite because they produce eggs and sperm cells. Most flatworms are parasites living in the body of a variety of animals, but some are freely living in marine, freshwater, or moist land habitats.
The examples of platyhelminthes are flatworms, fluke, and tapeworms. Science-minded learners, it's time to know more about the nematodes and their characteristics.
Nematodes are unsegmented worms that have a long, thin, round bodies pointed at both ends and are covered by tough cuticle. Nematodes are both found in marine and freshwater habitats and on land. Some are parasites and attached to plants and/or animals.
Here are the examples of nematodes: ascaris, vinegar eel, and hookworms. Now, it's time to learn more about the annelids and their characteristics.
Annelids have body segments that allow the specialization of tissues and for efficient movement. Their bodies are divided into segments with a ringed appearance. They live almost everywhere, except in the frozen soil for polar regions and in the sand of dry deserts.
The examples we have for annelids are earthworms, leeches, and logworms. Science-minded learners, those are the different characteristics of cnidarians, platyhelminthes, nematodes, and annelids. I hope you were able to catch up and take down notes. Science-minded learners, let's investigate and explore. Let's do this activity to better understand our episode today.
Fill in the graphic organizer by writing the specific characteristics of each classifications of invertebrates. Select your answers inside the box below the graphic organizer.
For this activity, you are given 20 seconds to answer. Science-minded learners, do your best! Your time is up. Now, let's check your work.
The first box in the graphic organizer is Nigerians. The characteristics of Nigerians that is found in the box below are: first, they have one body opening and most have two layer cells. Second, they produce stinging cells called cnidocytes. The second box in the graphic organizer is Platyhelminthes. The characteristics of the Platyhelminthes found in the box below are: first, they have a thin, flat body that resembles a ribbon. Second, they are hermaphrodite. The third box in the graphic organizer is nematodes. The characteristics of the nematodes found in the box below are: first, they are unsegmented worms. Second, they have a long, thin, round bodies pointed at both ends and are covered by a tough cuticle. The fourth box in the graphic organizer is annelids. The characteristics of annelids found in the box below are: first, they have body segments. Second, they live